What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Marvel Rivals, and I'll go ahead and answer the question up top. The answer is no. This is not an Overwatch killer, not even close. It's not going to replace where I think Overwatch falls into my tier list at all. There's definitely some cool things about this game, but there's also some things that I think are glaring issues and things that will make this game not last, in my opinion. But this is why it's my opinion, and you're just here to hear that out. But I do want to say, I am going to say some negative stuff about this game, and it was recently brought to light that actually in the contract or the agreement that you sign or that you agree to whenever you get a closed alpha key, it actually literally says in there, do not make bad reviews or negative reviews or disparaging comments, which is a little ridiculous. Obviously, I'm not going to listen to that at all. I don't care. I think worst case scenario, first of all, I'm a small channel, so like they're probably not going to, I'm not even on their radar. But beyond that, even if I was a bigger channel, it wouldn't matter. I would still give you my honest opinion. And if I like lose my access to the alpha, oh well, big whoop. I wouldn't really care ultimately. That being said, I do have some negative things to say about it. So let's start with the negative, and then I'll get into the positive. This is essentially just Overwatch. In case you don't know what this is essentially just Overwatch with Marvel characters. Okay, the game modes are pretty much exactly like Overwatch, right out of Overwatch's book. It is third person instead of first person, for I think legit reasons. There's a lot of characters like Spider-Man being one of them that you're watching the gameplay of right now. That makes sense for it to be first or third person. First person would be ridiculously hard to do with something like Spider-Man. So let's start off with the fact that this doesn't do anything to improve the game style of Overwatch. So is it doing anything? Is it bringing anything new to the table? Is it doing anything different or improving on anything that a game like Overwatch with those type of game modes has done in the past? Usually you run some tanks, you have support, you have attackers, all that kind of stuff, DPS, all of that is pretty much the core and the structure of this game, right? But the difference being, what else are they bringing to the table? Usually when you make a game that's sort of similar to something else, you want to bring something new to the table. And are they bringing anything new? And I would answer no. Very little to nothing new. And whatever they have brought that is quote-unquote new isn't really defining or changing the game. There's destructible environments. Okay, not a huge deal. It's not like it's changing the pathing now that you have to go through. Like people are still, you'll see in this gameplay footage, we end up destroying a part of this building that they're coming through, and they still come through that area. So it's not like it changes the game drastically or anything like that. So is it really improving on anything? Not really. It's pretty much just Overwatch. I would consider it Overwatch on like Ambien. It's like a toned down version of Overwatch. There's moments in the game Overwatch that are really, really, really fast, right? And you have to like make split-second decisions. It doesn't feel so much like it on this game. It feels like you definitely... things are slower to develop, fights are slower to develop, and then even some abilities and like projectile speeds and things like that are extremely slow. So it's kind of hard to really, get into a rhythm of it being pretty quick and making those split-second decisions. It seems like things just take a lot longer to develop overall. I do want to say that the reason why I think a lot of these things feel this way is because Nexus, which is the developer, is apparently a mobile developer. I don't know too much about them. This is just stuff that I've Googled really quickly on the internet. But basically, it sounds like they've made some mobile games. This absolutely feels like some sort of mobile game. I think on a phone, this game would make total sense. And it feels like it would play at the pace of somebody who's playing with their thumbs. And I'm on mouse and keyboard on a pretty high-end PC, so like it just feels a little bit lackluster overall. The graphics, I will say, are pretty good. We'll get into some positives now. I think I've harped on the negatives enough. We'll get into some positives, but basically the graphics are pretty good. I think it looks cool. I think the art style is cool. I think it looks a little comic booky. Obviously, it's got a little bit of that cell shading type texture. The animations look awesome. The character design looks sweet. The maps are fine. Nothing crazy, but nothing super bad. I think it's pretty good, and definitely like some of the abilities that they have for some of these characters. The voice lines are awesome, hilarious, just what you think they would be. I can't wait to see what other characters they bring up, because I do think that would be fun to try out something like Thor. I think Thor would be a really interesting character to play with, especially depending on how they do that, how they make him play. Captain America is my favorite Marvel character, so I would love to see Captain America. So I'm not saying I'm never going to touch this game ever again, but I'm definitely not going to be maining this game, and I might not even come back to it very often. I might just come back maybe on like big updates or when they add a new character or when they add Captain America. But other than that, I'm probably not going to be coming back to this game too often. You're definitely not going to be seeing a lot more of this gameplay on my channel. But that being said, yeah, it's okay. I would say like if I had to give it at like a rating out of 10 or something, I'd go like 4 out of 10. It's okay. It's a little bit below average. It's not a great game. It's not improving on anything insane. But it's fine. It seems to work and it seems to do what it wants to do. I think the people that are really going to enjoy this game are the Marvel fans and the Marvel diehards and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. One last thing I do want to touch on is there is a lot, and I repeat, a lot of visual clutter. I'm sure you can see as you're watching this gameplay. Spider-Man is definitely one that is like flying around the level a lot more, so he might have a lot more stuff going on. But I noticed when I played with Magneto or when I played with Rocket, it just was stuff all over the screen, especially when you get into a really intense firefight and everybody's popping their ults and everything like that. It gets insane. So there's a lot of visual clutter, but it looks pretty, I guess, and that's kind of the point. So that's pretty much it. That's my review on this, my first impressions on this. I played a handful of games on release and tried as many characters as I possibly could. And like I said, I had fun because I was playing with my friends, but it wasn't necessarily because of the gameplay itself. The gameplay itself was okay, but I will be returning to Overwatch at some point. So that's pretty much it for me. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I will catch you guys in the next one.